guys, Amanda here from the Farmington Area Public Library. Today I am going to show you how to use our online catalog. This is going to show you what items the library owns, what's currently available, what other libraries have, and allow you to place holds on those items, as well as see what you have checked out and what items you have on hold, as well as other things. So you are going to find our library catalog from our library website, which is farmingtonpublic.org. I am on my iPad today, but you can access this website from any device where you can access the internet. So we are on the website right now, and we are going to get to the catalog. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, there's the big red button that says Library Catalog. I'm going to scroll in on it here on my iPad, and it's right up there. We're going to click on that to see if that'll go. And here is our catalog. So it does have a lot of information, but it has a lot of hopefully helpful information to you. So on the left-hand side, you will see a long box here that says RSA Cat apps. These are going to be apps that you would hopefully find helpful as a reader. The first one is the RSA Cat mobile app. I will actually be making another video to go over that app. It is going to be very similar to using the catalog here I'm going to show you today. It's going to show you the same information. It's going to allow you to do the same things, but it's just going to be an app you can download onto your device, and it's going to be easier to use when you're on the go in the car than jumping onto our website here. We also have several ebook resources that I would highly encourage you to look into. Libby, Overdrive, and then Access 360. Those three are going to have the same login that you're going to use here on the library catalog. Those are going to give you access to a bigger number of books than we have available here in the library or even from other libraries. So the first thing I would typically recommend you do is to log in. If you look at the very top, you have several things you can click on. There's a question mark, there's a person, there's select language, library information, my lists, my account, log out, and then there's welcome, Schaefer, Amanda L. I am already logged in, but that is because if I went ahead and logged in, it would give away my login information. Typically, instead of log out, it would just say log in. I'm going to show you on a screen that I have screenshotted here. If you were to click on login, this is what would come up so that you can log in. The first thing it's going to ask for is your card number. It's 10 digits on the back of your library card number with no spaces. On the back of your card, whether it's the small keychain one or the big card in your wallet, there's a space smack dab in the middle of your library card number. You want to ignore that space. Just write it all as if it's one word less, let's say. Then you're going to do your PIN number. If you don't know your PIN number, you're going to want to call the library. However, you can try two different things. The old go-to passcode that they would give for library cards was Change Me, CHANGEME, no space between the two words change me, just type it in as one word. I would do all lowercase. Those were typically for the older cards. The newer cards typically are automatically the last four numbers of the library card number. That may or may not work for you. You're free to try it. If it doesn't work, however, you're going to want to call the library and we can reset that for you. So we're going to go back to our catalog, and once you put that information in, it is going to log you in and it will show your name at the top. So from here, I'm going to show you how to put a book on hold. So we have the blue long rectangle right in the middle top there, and we have this big box that now turned yellow. This is where we're going to type in what we're looking for. You could type in mystery books to see what comes up because you like reading mysteries. And there we go. We got 772 results. You could scroll through here and see what comes up. The easiest thing I have found, because 772 results came up, is if you look on the left-hand side, it's going to help you limit your results. So let's say you know you're looking for a book. You don't want a movie and you don't want to listen to an audiobook. Next to those words, up under format, you can see where there's now a check mark next to movie. We're going to click on those, and I'm going to click over here. There's an exclude across from format. Exclude, that means it's going to exclude, it should, I should say, exclude audiobooks and movies. Every once in a while, things make it through that shouldn't, but for the most part, they're going to take them out. It only took us down to 751. So I would go from here to reading level. If you're an adult, I would go ahead and just click on the word adult, and it should, typically should, take it down a little more. 680 results. For our library, I can kind of believe we'd have that many mysteries in, especially because there are going to be some kids or young adult or possibly audiobooks or movies that make their way in. You can scroll through and see what there is. You can notice that some boxes have more information than others. Most of the newer items are going to give you a summary right here. Some, the older ones, are not. If you notice, all the items are numbered. We have 6 and 7 up here. 6 doesn't give you much of anything. It doesn't even have a cover. 7 does. Next to those items, you'll see several bits of information. You have author, call number, format, or publication date, summary. It's going to give you different information. The one thing I would always look at is the format. It's happened a lot to patrons as well as myself where I've put a book on hold, but in reality, when I came to pick up my hold, it was an audiobook. And that was because when I placed the hold, I didn't pay close enough attention to make sure that when it says format, if you look at the bottom of the video, it's right at the very bottom, format, and it says books. Every once in a while, things get miscatalogued, and maybe an audiobook was on there and just a mix-up happened. If this does ever happen to you where you get the wrong thing in because you put it on hold, do not worry. It happens to so many other people, and it happens to me, and I work in the library and can typically tell a little closer based on the screen I see in the library what I'm placing on hold. So do not worry, we will get you the correct item. So let's say CJ Box, you want this new one. So we are going to come over here to the right hand side and look at the details that are shown. So right here, if you know you want this one, you can click on place hold. But if you're not quite sure, or you want to know what other libraries have it, you can click on show details. The reason why I say that is because if you look at the bottom of 7, so it now should be at the bottom of your screen, it's in bright red letters, no copies available at Farmington area PLD. 4 copies available at other libraries. We do not have it in right now, which means you would have to wait for items to come in from another library. So you could click on show details over on the right hand side, and you'll see all the same information here. If you scroll down, it's going to show you what other libraries own this book. On the right hand side of this box on the bottom, it says status, and it has all the different books here and what status they are. Most of them, you'll notice, say checkout. It's also, if it tells you new large print books or large print or even just fiction or young adult or anything besides checked out, more than likely that means it's not available from the library right now. It could even say in transit, which means it's going between libraries at the moment, but it still means you cannot go to the library and pick it up. At the top of this box, typically, I'm going to scroll up here and you'll see it at the bottom. Farmington, if you were logged in, your home library should always show up as the top option if we own the item you clicked on. Right now, of course, our item is checked out. So if this is the item you wanted, you'd come up and click on place hold under select an action here. So we're going to click on place hold, and this is what's going to come up. Pick up library. Let's say you live in Farmington, but you work over by the Alpha Park Library. So you can come up here and you can scroll around until you find the library that you want to pick it up at. We can even come up here and click on Alpha Park. Now, I'm actually going to head out for a minute. Let's say we come down here and you're actually going to be in Galesburg this weekend, because Galesburg, if you look, has a copy on the shelf. So when we go to place hold, you could click on Galesburg and click on place hold. This page is always going to tell you if it went through or not. It has a title and then action. Under action, if it says success, that means the place is hold. The library will let you know when it's ready to pick up. How they get a hold of you will depend on your account. If you have an email address on your card, you'll get an email. If you don't, we will call whatever library the item is going to, they will call you to let you know when it's ready to pick up. So that is how you place a hold. You could even look up a specific item. So I'm going to look up a book that I'm actually not sure we own to show you what to do if we don't have one. So 2 items came up with the title Supernova, but I happen to know that's not the item I'm looking for. If you look, I'm going to scroll up here at the top of the screen. Across from reading level, there's the include, exclude, and going across, there's Farmington Area Public Library District 2 in parentheses. It's in bright red. Go across even more, there's ebooks and e-audiobooks, and then all RSA libraries. If what you're looking for doesn't come up here, you can come over and click on all RSA libraries and search all of those to see what's available. See if you can find what you're looking for. So it's a book that I'm looking for. I'm going to come over and limit my results. I'm going to click on book. And we're getting down here. I'm going to come over for reading level. I know it's a young adult book. Sometimes you may not be able to limit these, especially if you're not sure where it's going to show up. And I can see it now. Supernova shows up. So sometimes it could have been that Supernova wasn't even the title of a book that we had in the library. You always want to pay attention here. I'm going to scroll up. At the top, you'll see all our RSA libraries is red now. If Farmington Library didn't have a book with the title Supernova in it, it's automatically going to switch over and search all RSA libraries. So I would always check to see where it's searching, especially if it automatically switches over. But then if you will notice the bright red letters for all of these items underneath that say no copies available at Farmington Area PLD. Copies available at other libraries, because then that should give you a little bit more notice that, hey, I'm not searching the actual library, I'm searching other libraries. If you're okay with that, don't worry about it. So this is going to do the same thing. We're going to place a hold here. I want to pick it up at Farmington, let's say. So I'm going to place hold, and we have success. So every once in a while, if you place a hold, there may be items when they come up that it doesn't say success. If it gives you anything else, feel free to call the library and we will try to figure out why it didn't allow it. One reason that maybe is because some libraries do not send out specific items. Some libraries do not send out new books or movies, sometimes within the first 6 months that they're out. Other libraries do not send out DVDs. Normal public library does not send out their DVDs in transit to other libraries because when you go to their library, you have to pay to rent it. So if you ever run into those issues, that might be the reason why. But please just call us and ask us to see if we can try to help you. Sometimes there's something on our end we can do that you're not able to do. So that's going to help us learn something new in the long run as well. So now I'm going to show you how to access your account and see what's available on there. So at the very top where we saw your name, right now we see a welcome Schaefer Amanda, log out, and then my account. We're going to click on that. And it's going to bring up your information and then change PIN. Here, you can change your login if you want. Now, when you called us, if you happen to call us with your PIN number, typically we set it for the last 4 digits of your library card number. I recommend that, especially if you're going to change your number, because then if you have your library card number to log in, you automatically have your PIN number and you don't have to worry about what's my login information. Here, you can change it to something else if you want, though. You can also go to preferences and it's going to bring up different things. The one thing to pay attention to is the preferred pickup library. That is if you place something on hold. You had seen earlier when I went to place hold, it asked what library I wanted to pick it up at. Whatever is on here for preferred pickup library, that's going to come up. So like I said, if you work over at the Alpha Park near the Alpha Park Library, you could change your preferred pickup library automatically to come up as Alpha Park. You could change it to Bloomington, wherever you happen to work, if you know it's going to be easier to go to that library than the one here in town. We understand that sometimes it's going to be a little easier. Underneath, you'll see two options that I have checked right now called record my checkout history and show my checkout history. If you ever want to be able to ask us, have I checked this book out before? It sounds familiar. I'm not sure if I've read it. We cannot tell you if you've checked a book out. It's not going to show up on a record unless these are checked. If you go in right now and check these, it's going to keep track of what you have checked out right now at this moment moving forward. It won't go back and tell you what you've checked out in the past. This is something that's been added, and it's something that you do have to go in and turn on yourself. So we have the personal information. Now if we go over to checkouts, you'll see the red. That's because I have an overdue item. So here it's going to give you a list of everything checked out. My mom's a preschool teacher, so I check out books for her. That's why I have so many kids' books here. But it's going to tell you if you have any overdue items. And this is where you can also renew items. So let's say everything on here is coming up due. You'll see here, I'm going to scroll in so you can see a little better. There's the renew button there, and then there's a select all and a button next to it. If you click on that, it is going to select all these items. And if you click on renew, it's going to try to renew all of them for you. I'm going to go ahead, or you can go through and click on the individual ones that you want. I'm going to click on select all to show you what happens. And then it's going to come up here. I'm going to scroll out. If you click on renew, it's going to come up with this. Renew the selected items. Just to make sure, you're going to click on yes because you only get so many renewals. So here, now it's going to tell you. So unplanned, I already knew. I can't. So there's all of our items. On the right hand side, it has some dates. Those are now the new due dates that you have. It's also going to tell you in green here, checkout successfully renewed. However, if you've already renewed items before, it's going to tell you renewal limit reached. No further renewals allowed for this item. Sometimes there's even a possibility that it comes up saying that renewal not allowed because someone else has a hold on it. When the renewal limit is reached and when someone else has a hold on something, there is not a way for us to override your renewal. So you have all kinds of things here. It will also, if you have any digital checkouts through Access 360, Libby, Overdrive, they're going to show up here too if you're simply curious as to what you have on those apps. And if you look, there's also checkout history. I have turned on what I had, at least recently, what I've checked out, just so I can especially show other people what it looks like. So you can look from the website here. You also, if you go over, we have holds. We're going to see the items that we've placed on hold today. It's always going to tell you, you have a picture, you have the title and author, and then the status. So 2 of them are unavailable. Also, that's because we just placed them. But we also have one that says in transit. That means it's moving between libraries and heading, hopefully, for me to pick up. Then it has the pickup at library, and then when it expires. It typically gives you a good 10 months before that hold is going to expire. So you never have to worry about that hold expiring. Most people are going to place holds for items they want right at this moment. So there are other things you can do. If you look up here, there's items on hold 3, ready for pickup 0. And if you come here, it will always tell you if items are also available to pick up. You can cancel holds from here. You can edit the pickup location. So if you realize, wait, I'm actually not going to Galesburg now this weekend, so we're going to come down here to Long Range, and I'm going to click the box that's next to the picture and edit pickup locations. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to change it to Farmington because I'm going to be in town this weekend. And action, success. We're going to click on OK. And if we come down here, you'll see Long Range, status unavailable, and pickup at Farmington. Another thing you can do is suspend a hold. That means if you're not going to be available to come and pick up a hold and you don't want it to come in, you can suspend that hold until a specific date when you want it to come in. So let's say Supernova here. I'm going on vacation, let's say in a few days, and I don't want it to come in. So I'm going to be gone for about 10 days. We're going to put it in here. And I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So, Supernova. If you look here, Supernova is right in the middle. It has now a little calendar next to it. That shows you that it is going to be suspended until the day that you put it to unsuspend it. I would typically recommend taking it through a day after you're going to be home, just in case something happens and you don't get home. Because let's say you put an item on hold from your whole, like your Farmington patron, you put an item on hold that we have in the library, we could pull it, and then if something happens you can get home right away, there's a slight possibility we could pull it off the shelf before you're ready to come and get it. So those are our holds. It also shows you up here digital holds. So if you have any ebooks on hold, they're going to show up here as well. So then we have fines. You guys don't really have to deal with fines if you're a Farmington card holder because our library is fine free. However, I do want to warn you, if you ever go to another library and check out items from them at their building, if they become overdue, you will have to pay any fines that you accrue from those items. That is one reason why I would highly encourage, I do want to encourage you guys to go to other libraries, but place the items on hold and have them come to our library, then you won't have any overdue fines to deal with. So this is our library catalog. There's some other things you can do here. I highly encourage you to sit down and see what you can find. When in doubt, we have up here where we searched. If you look over to the left, there's this little home picture. You click on that, that is going to take you back to where we started. And there's all kinds of other information. So be on the watch for the RSA Cat mobile app video. Like I said, it's going to be very similar to using the online catalog like I just showed you, but there's going to be just a little bit of difference, especially to be able to tell if items are available at the moment or not. So if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at the library. We love getting your questions and really want to be able to help you guys request items, especially right now as the library is not open.